What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a multi-room setup using the Rock Zone 8. So the next thing we can do for our setup is connect our speakers to the Rock Zone 8. Before we connect our speakers, we have to consider the type of speakers we want to use. Remember, the channels on each of our zones are 4 ohm stable, so this gives us a few different options on the type of speakers we can use. For example, we can set up one 4 ohm speaker per left and right channel. We can also set up 2 8 ohm speakers per left and right channel, which brings it down to a 4 ohm load. And we can even set up 4 16 ohm speakers per left and right channel, which again brings it down to a 4 ohm load. You can set up multiple speakers through parallel wiring, and we actually have a video on how to parallel wire your speakers in case you want to check that out. So with all these different options, the one thing you don't want to do is set up any speakers that are 2 ohm stable, because that can risk damaging your receiver and or your speakers. And these speakers are 4 ohms, so we're going to set up 1 speaker per left and right channel on each zone. We'll start with 1 zone at a time here. So we're going to go to the back of our receiver and unscrew the terminals of whichever zone that we want to use first. So I'm going to go to zone 1 and loosen up these terminals here. So you have a positive and negative terminal for the left channel and a positive and negative terminal for the right channel. So I'm going to go 1 channel at a time, starting with the left channel. I'm going to take my speaker wire. I'm going to plug the red positive wire into the positive terminal. I'm going to tighten up this terminal so that the speaker wire is secure. Then we're going to do the same thing with the black negative wire and plug that into the negative terminal, then tighten it up to lock it in place. Then we're going to take the other ends and plug them into the positive and negative terminals on the back of our speaker. So now the speaker for the left channel of zone 1 is all good to go. And we're going to do the exact same thing for the right speaker for zone 1. So again, we'll take 1 end of our speaker wire, plug the red wire into the positive terminal for the right channel, then plug the black wire into the negative terminal for the right channel. Then we'll take the other end of our speaker wire and plug them into the positive and negative terminals on the next speaker. Alright, so our speakers are all set here for zone 1, and we can follow these same exact steps if we wanted to set up more speakers to any of the remaining zones. So using those steps, I'm going to go ahead and set up these speakers to zone 2. Now remember, each zone has a stereo and mono switch, so you can decide whether you want your zones to be in stereo or in mono. You can leave the button unpressed to have it set in stereo mode, or you can press the button in to set it to mono mode. Once our speakers are all set up to our zones, we can use the left and right volume knobs to raise the volume of the left and right speakers on each zone. And we'll also want to make sure to raise the main volume knob here so that we can hear everything coming out of the receiver. So now I'm going to play some music so we can hear how the speakers sound. Oh yeah, sounds good. So you're hearing zone 1 over here and zone 2 over here. So I can lower the music for zone 2. So now we're just hearing zone 1. Really cool. Then I can bring zone 2 back in. Yeah. And I can lower zone 1. So now we're just hearing zone 2. Sounds good. And I can bring them both back in. Now we're hearing it on both sides again. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to make a multi-room setup using the Rock Zone 8. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.